All right, today is Thursday, June 5th, and I'm here to give you your weekly fishing report on Table Rock Lake. But before we get into the report, got a couple announcements. A lot of night tournaments were canceled this week, but I do know of one that's still going on, and that's the Old 86 Night Tournament. They're going out of Cow Creek. Guys, that tournament is like filling up. Like it went from 10 to 17, now it's 20, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So they got a lot of great fishermen there. The reason why I like it is because it's only $42, you know. Like I said, inflation. If you're pushing pennies and all that stuff and you like to fish tournaments, you know, go out and fish the Old 86 Night Tournament on Little Cow. They're putting in at Little Cow, and if you have any questions, go to their Facebook page, or you can contact Mitch Marriott. I'm going to leave his phone number down at the description. And also, my interview with Justin Garner goes live tomorrow on the Modcast. So guys, go look at that. If you can't find it, let me know in the comments you can't find it. But if you look up Modcast on YouTube, it's right there. A lot of people said they couldn't find it. It's on Spotify as well. You can go watch it there. But the interview with Justin Garner was great. Man, it was good. I learned a lot about him, and it was just a good interview. And we got a bunch of great people that they're interviewing now. But anyways, let's get into our fishing report. I'm going to tell you what I was throwing them on, and I'm going to show you here on my graphs kind of where I was catching them. And from Monday till now, it's kind of all changed. But during the early, from Monday, yeah, like today, it's changed drastically. So what I was throwing was where are they at? Right here. I was throwing a baby brush hog, PB&J, a Zoom, and I was pairing that up with the 3/16. How I was targeting these bass, like I said, I was throwing up in the green stuff. As you get out there on the lake level is very, very high, which is kind of leveled off right now. How we was doing this is I was seeing green bushes in the water, and I was literally targeting those green bushes and flipping in there and catching them that way. They were just coming out and getting it, okay? Also, another way that I was catching them up shallow, up in the green bushes, was with the chatterbait. I was throwing this up in there and bringing it across those bushes that are in the water, and getting out on main lake and secondary points and creek channel swing banks, and just throwing this bigger, this is a big blade. See how bigger, it's original chatterbait. I was throwing the bigger blade, which everyone else was kind of throwing the original smaller blades. But I think this is what kind of helped. This is like a green pumpkin, and it got it done. Like I was catching a bunch of fish, I caught some good ones, like some bigger ones, maybe 3.5 pounders. You know, I never really gotten a good bite. But here's what here's what was interesting to me. I don't think I got it. I don't think I brought it out. I didn't. Where's it at? Okay. But anyways, here during the week, it seemed like they were, from Monday till today, it seemed like they weren't on the old shoreline, but they were back off, way off into 20 feet of water. And I'm going to show you here in just a second. So basically what I was doing was I got very upset because I wasn't getting any bites early that morning. I should have been just racking them up, right? And it just wouldn't get them. And I was waiting to do on water lessons with a guy, and I just went out onto a main lake point, saw something unique about this point. I think it was just a little tree that could have been like maybe 3 foot high off the bottom. And I put my lap scope down the water. I threw my, it was a Zoom trick worm. the bigger one. And I was throwing that in a watermelon red, and I dipped the tails in it, dyed the tails chartreuse, and I threw that thing out there, and I brought it right by that stick, and boom, 6-pounder. And then I went to a finesse approach because I noticed that there was another one. So what I did was I threw a jig out there and let that go past that and brought it down. It was like in 20 feet of water again, let it go past, and I just let it sit there. I could just see him coming around that bait, which is another thing, guys. If you're using forward-facing sonar and you're throwing it in some fish and you throw it past them and you work it through them, you need to not work it so much. My wife is notorious for catching giants because she fishes it slower and she lets that bait marinate down in there. As you come through there, when you know that those bass are by those big stumps and by the taller trees, the 4-foot trees or laydowns, bring it up over that laydown and just let it sit for about 20-30 seconds. I know as bass fishermen that's hard for us to do, but I just brought it through there and she kind of come up off the bottom. I knew that she was right there. So she was just sitting there kind of swimming around it, and then all of a sudden, it could have been like 20-30 seconds. She picked it up and she started swimming off. I saw my line bump and I set the hook on it. There's another 6-pounder. So then that got me curious. So I started working the old shoreline Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and started working that old shoreline and started racking them up. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say I was just catching giants, but I was catching 2.5, 3-pounders as well. So I started to go hit the treetops out there on channel swing banks down in like 60, 70 feet of water. And what I was using to get those bigger ones, because the bigger ones are out there, as I was using the Cast Echo. It is the 5.4. This is the one I was using to catch the bigger ones. And I was catching bigger ones, like 4.5, 5-pounders. I was using a bigger bait. This is the Ozark color. Modern Outdoor Tackle sells them. By the way, Modern Outdoor Tackle sells all the baits that I'm telling you right now. Get you a bigger bait. I've also heard from Eddie from Modern Outdoor Tackle. They're just clobbering the big weight, not wake bait, but a big glide bait. I am not good with the glide bait, and that's something that you guys have to practice at and do things at. But Eddie is going to teach me how to do that one of these days, and we're going to get on the water. He's going to show me how to do that. But I really, really like this 5.4, and I paired it up with a LS Tungsten rolling strolling jig head. I love these jig heads. And how you want to hook this, the bigger bait, I'll just get one out here because I'll probably use it. So you see that the eye is like right here. It's right there, you can see it. I like it tungsten because it shows up really good on my forward-facing sonar. You basically want to get one of these big old baits like this. And a lot of people take these baits and they nose hook them, like right through here. Don't do that, okay? What you want to do with this one, since the eye is back here, you want to take this right behind the eye, come right down the back, make sure it's straight, get it, keep pushing it down. There's a little hollow belly back there. And then what you do is you got it like that, and then you want to push this thing just like this, and it's got this little keeper on it right here. So you take that keeper, you push it back, and then you push it forward, just like that, and it locks it in place. So then you're going to tie your hook. What this does is it makes the bait rock back and forth, like so, just like that, okay? Makes it go back and forth just like that. And that's the key that I was catching those bigger ones. I was throwing it past them maybe about 5-10 feet and bringing it through the treetops. And those bass were in the middle between 35 and 25 feet. And they were coming out of the trees to get this thing right here. There wasn't a lot of bait around. There were some balls of bait around. But like I said before, you want to be around some bait in those creek channel swing banks. and in that deeper water. And another thing, it has a rattle in here. These 5.4s have a rattle. And I think that was the key too. It was rattling and going back and forth, and it was just driving them crazy. And me and my wife, we kicked butt on Tuesday. So my wife caught a monster smallmouth. I probably should show all the photos that we caught, all the fish, on my Facebook. I'm probably going to have a Facebook. I have my personal Facebook, but I think I'm going to get another Facebook for my fishing channel, so that we can start posting pictures and little videos, snippets and stuff like that, so you guys can see how that we're catching fish. And another thing is that I'm going to start doing a lot more short videos, my YouTube shorts, on the water stuff, so that you guys can see how I'm going through about my day. So go get you some baby brush hogs, PB&J. That's what I've been using. I've been throwing the jig. I just haven't been getting consistent bites, but the baby brush hog is killing it. You can also throw in the morning times, I've also been throwing a rock crawler, sexy shad. Get one that's down there about 14. It gets 14, 15 feet, and just start throwing that thing across that point and just bringing it back. Have I tried deep diving 6XD? I did it for maybe 5-6 hours, and I was not getting any bites. Some guys are doing it. It's probably just a timing thing, and some guys are getting them, some guys aren't. But I haven't consistently been getting a bite with my 6XD. So those are the baits. So go get you some PB&J, brush hogs. Get you a bigger size chatterbait. I'm pretty sure that we sell these at Modern Outdoor Tackle. And go get you a Cast Echo 5.4, bigger bait. They also have the 7 in there. I haven't tried the 7. I just like the 5. It just seems, I'm just confident with it. I would like to try the 7, but like I said, it's a confidence thing. If you're not confident in it, don't do it. Another thing, don't forget your LS Tungsten rolling strolling jig heads and pair that up. It's really great. So, all right, we're gonna get on the map here, and it might take me a second to pull it up, but I'm gonna kind of show you what I was targeting. Okay, so. Hope you guys can see this all right. All right, you can see all my tracks of where I've been. So it's kind of crazy how much I can fill this thing up. But we're gonna go in right here. You can see where I started, right in here. We started off this point. This is where I was catching all these big ones with the Cast Echo. There have flooded timber down in here, and the reason why I think that these bass were just in here because of this flooded timber. You can see where I was sitting a bunch trying to get some to bite, and I just kind of come straight across and just started catching them all through here. It's good stuff, man. Good. It's a good place to fish. Also, I was hitting, where is it at? Okay, where are we at? Right here. If you see little banks like this, right here, you can see where I was at. You see how this creek channel comes in through here? I was catching a bunch of them right through here, and they were big ones. So even little small pockets like this, if you was to go into a smaller pocket like this, I didn't try it, but I know that there are fish in here. But like, see this right here? I'm going to tell you something. So the water is very, very high, right? If you will start targeting your fish in this red area right here, because the water's way up here, they are in this area. They were in this area. Now with the water kind of stabilizing, they're going to pull up in this stuff, okay? Probably in the mornings, you can probably throw you a spook, throw you a whopper plopper coming through there. That is one thing I didn't really concentrate on this week, was throwing a topwater. I just didn't, I don't know, I just didn't feel confident in it because here lately I just haven't been getting many bites on it. So it could have been I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but I just didn't have it constantly in my hand. But stuff like this right here, you want to be able to hit stuff like this because this channel is right here. These bigger fish are hanging out in these areas right here. It's about 20 feet in this area. That's where they're at, and they're to the yellow, to the red. Now, like I said, they're going to be pulling up soon to get in that stuff because they're not pulling the water. They're not doing much of anything. But if you want to get you a lot of bites right through here, Creek Channel Swing Bank through here, been catching a bunch in here. You can see as I was going through here looking, kind of coming around, just getting some areas to see where they were at, and I stopped to come back in here and fished it and started just killing them. A lot of smallmouth in that area. This right here, guys, I lit this up. You can see where I was parked right here and just throwing across here and up in here and just killing them like 2.5, 3 pounders. That's stuff that you want to look at right there. Okay. Also been catching some fish over here too. A lot of good ones. Okay. Not just, I would say I was averaging 2.5, 3 pounders right in this area. So guys, I'm just telling you, the Creek Channel Swing Banks, the stuff that comes right up into everything, right here, here's another good one. So the water, like I said, is way up in here. But those fish, they're hanging right around in here. Right by that brush, right by the old bank. Start looking at that stuff. Let's see, where's another spot? Here you go. Here's another spot. I even got it marked, but I haven't fished it yet. Right in here, I got some brush piles marked right off the edge. But once again, fish up in this stuff. They're close to this red line, okay? Close to the red and yellow line. I see a lot of guys are way up in here. They were flipping it through the week, and they weren't getting many bites. Neither was I. But then once I figured it out, I stepped out here in the green and started flipping and pitching up through here, or running a crankbait through here, or a chatterbait through here, and just sacking them up. Now I did not do right there. I'm just saying that's what I was I'm just showing you as a reference. That's what I was kind of doing. So guys, I hope this helps you out a lot. Remember, go book us for on the water lessons. It's $100 an hour. Also, I have a guide service. If you're looking for a guided trip, leave me a comment or go to my website at hinesguideservice.com. And yeah, guys, we love you here at the Hines House, and we hope you have a blessed one. We'll see you next week.